Welcome back, guys. So in last video we have discussed about the process called microsporogenesis. The end result of microsporogenesis is the production of pollen grain, and in this video we are going to discuss about the structure of pollen grain. So without wasting any time, let us begin. So the structure of pollen grain, basically the pollen grain is spherical in nature, as you can see in this diagram or picture, and the diameter of this microspore is in between 25 to 50 micrometer. And very important point here to be noted that this pollen grain consists of two layered wall, okay, outer layer, inner layer. Okay, coming to the next point, that this outer layer is called as an exine, exine. The inner layer is called as an intine. Exine is made up of so-called sporopollenin. Sporopollenin is one of the most resistant organic material, okay, which can withstand high temperature. Okay, the pollen grains can survive in high temperatures because of sporopollenin. It protects the pollen grain from the high temperatures and strong acids and strong bases as well. Okay, so this sporopollenin is so strong that it cannot be degraded by any enzyme. Okay, this exine has a prominent aperture called germ pore. Okay, this structure in here is called as a germ pore. In this region of germ pore there is no sporopollenin. As a result, intine grows out of it and it forms pollen tube. Let us talk about inner layer of pollen grain. The inner layer of pollen grain is made up of cellulose and pectin, and the inner layer is called as an intine. So that is the reason why it is not that strong as compared to the sporopollenin, I mean to say here exine. But and the main role of this intine is nothing but to produce the pollen tube. Now let us understand the composition of cytoplasm inside the pollen grain. The cytoplasm of pollen grain consists of two cells. One is vegetative cell, next is generative cell. Okay, pollen grain once gets mature, it is converted into two cells. Let us first talk about the vegetative cell, and let us then move to the generative cell afterwards. Okay, first let us discuss about the vegetative cell. So in this diagram you can see this part is called as an generative nucleus. I mean to say generative nucleus is enclosed by some cytoplasm around it, so it is called as a generative cell, and the rest of the part is called as a vegetative cell. Okay, in here vegetative nucleus is also present. So generative, let us briefly talk about the generative cell. Generative cell is very small in nature and it floats in the vegetative cell. Generative cell mitotically divides its nucleus. Okay, as a result it forms two male gametes. Why the gametes are produced mitotically? Because nucleus of generative cell is haploid in nature, and the gametes are also in haploid in nature, or the gametes produced should be haploid in nature. So the only cell division which convert haploid nucleus into haploid gametes, and the process is called mitotic division. So that is the reason why mitotic division occurs here. As a result, haploid nucleus of generative cell gets converted into haploid gametes. So this was about the cytoplasm of pollen grain, and this video was all about the structure of pollen grain. I hope you have understood. If not, then you can ask any doubt you're having, any sort of doubt you're having in comment section down below. I will definitely try to solve it. Thank you for joining in. Falgun signing out.